All right, so this time we're taking a deep dive into, well, deep dives themselves, meditation.
Whoa, meta much.
Right. We're wading through a whole bunch of research on meditation and how it impacts, like, mental well-being, you
Yeah.
know, articles, studies, even another podcast episode.
A deep dive into a deep dive. I like it.
Exactly. And it seems like you're past the intro stage with meditation you get that's about calming the mind.
You're looking for the why now, the what's actually happening in my brain stuff.
Yes. And how to use all that knowledge to actually feel better, obviously. So, ready to demystify meditation for us.
I think demystify is the perfect word. Forget those stereotypical images of, makes a thoughtful sound meditation gurus on mountaintops.
Been there, done that, got the retreats t-shirt.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the neuroscience of what happens when we meditate. Way more exciting than it sounds, I promise.
Exciting and neuroscience in the same sentence. I'm intrigued. But okay, let's say I'm trying to meditate.
Right. Hit me with it.
My brain's doing its usual thing, to-do lists, replaying arguments,
Yeah.
the whole shebang.
Hmm.
Is the goal to, like, completely shut those thoughts down?
That's the thing. It's not about silencing your thoughts. It's more about changing how you relate to them. It's like those annoying pop-up ads online. Meditation isn't about closing every single one. It's about becoming less bothered by them.
Oh, I like that. So instead of frantically hitting the close button on every pop-up.
You're learning to just let them flash by without hijacking your entire browsing session.
Exactly. And hopefully, just like those pop-ups, the less I engage, the less power they have.
Precisely. Now, where the brain comes in, there's this whole team of areas that become active when you meditate.
Ooh, a brain tour.
Mm-hmm.
Sign me up. I always wanted to know what was going on up there.
Right. Well, first up, the prefrontal cortex, or PFC. Your brain's inner Sherlock Holmes. It's always analyzing, trying to make sense of your thoughts and feelings, even during meditation.
Okay, so that feeling of my mind racing during meditation, that's just my PFC doing its detective work.
Exactly. And it's got a partner in all this, the anterior cingulate cortex, or ACC.
Catchy name.
Right. Think of it like your body's mission control. It's getting info from everywhere, your heart, your lungs, even your gut, and figuring out how to react. Like, is this relaxed breathing, or are we about to fight a bear?
So it's my built-in threat detector.
Exactly. Now, how does it know if it's a real threat or just me overthinking things again?
You're reading my mind. Is there, like, another part of my brain in charge of that?
You bet. That's where the insula comes and the voice of reason. Takes the raw data from the ACC like a racing heart and checks the context. Am I actually in danger or just replaying that awkward work meeting?
The insula's got my back. So we've got the PFC, the detective, the ACC, mission control, and the insula, the voice of reason. That's a lot of brain power dedicated to just chilling out.
Right. And here's the thing. Meditation helps those three areas work together better. The result, a calmer mind, better emotional control. Pretty great benefits, if you ask me.
Okay, I'm seeing how understanding all those brain regions can change how I view meditation. But you mentioned something about an interception-exteroception spectrum. That sounds complicated.
It's simpler than it sounds. Imagine a seesaw on one side. It's all about your inner world. Your heartbeat, your breath. That's a neuroception. On the other side, the outside world, what you see, hear, smell, that's exteroception.
Okay, I'm picturing it. But how do I know where I usually am on this seesaw? Am I generally more tuned into my inner world or the world around me?
Let's do a quick experiment. Ready?
Hit me.
Try to count your heartbeats without touching your chest or wrist. Just focus on that internal rhythm. How easy is it?
Oh, wow. That's actually harder than I thought. Definitely having to concentrate here.
That tells us something. Some people are just naturally more aware of their internal sensations. Others are more externally focused. Neither is good or bad. It's just about knowing your starting point.
So it's not about forcing myself to one side of the seesaw, really. It's more about, like, learning to glide along it, right? Being aware of both my inner world and what's going on around me.
Exactly. And that awareness can be seriously powerful. Think of it like finally getting a user manual for your own mind and body. But you mentioned happiness earlier, and there's actually a bunch of research on how meditation and happiness are connected.
Yeah, the whole wandering mind, unhappy mind thing kind of freaked me out because, honestly, my mind wanders more than a lost puppy. Does that mean I'm destined for a life of misery?
Not at all. It's totally natural for our minds to wander. It's how we connect ideas, get creative, sometimes even problem solve in the background. But that research, it highlights how important it is to be intentional with our attention. When our mind's always wandering without us realizing, we miss out on, like, the richness of what's happening right now.
That makes sense. It's like when I'm trying to have a conversation, but I'm also scrolling through social media. I'm not really present for either one.
Perfect example. And that's where meditation comes in. It helps us work that attention muscle so we can choose where we focus instead of being pulled in a million directions.
So I can actually train my mind to be more present, just like training for a marathon, but for my brain.
Exactly. It's mental fitness. And the more you practice, the better you get at reeling in that wandering mind and, enjoying those moments of being truly present. But hey, you've got a ton of different meditation techniques in your research here. Anything calling to you?
Well, you know me, always down to try new things. But I also love this whole idea of like tailoring my meditation to what I need that day. Like if I need to relax versus, I don't know, actually get off the couch. Are there certain techniques that are better for that? Because some days I need serious chill and others I need all the help I can get just to function.
That's what's so cool about meditation. And honestly, one of the most powerful tools we have is our breath. And I'm not just talking about the generic focus on your breath thing.
Wait, there's more to breathing than just breathing. I feel like that's something I should know.
There's a whole world of science behind how different ways of breathing can impact our nervous system. Have you heard of cyclic hyperventilation, also called Wim Hof breathing?
Oh, yeah, the Iceman. He swims in freezing water and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What's it got to do with breathing?
His method uses this specific pattern of deep, rhythmic breaths. It's like a jolt of energy for your system, releases adrenaline, the whole 9 yards.
So that's how he handles those ice baths, like a natural energy drink.
Exactly. And you don't have to take an ice bath to get the benefits. Cyclic hyperventilation can really boost your energy, even help with inflammation.
So if I need a midday pick-me-up, I can skip the extra coffee and just do some Wim Hof breathing. Sign me up.
You could, but word of caution. It's stimulating. Maybe not for everyone or every situation. Definitely wouldn't recommend it right before bed.
Yeah, probably not the best sleep aid. Okay, so if Wim Hof breathing is like an espresso shot for the nervous system, what's the meditation version of chamomile tea?
That's where slower, non-cyclic breathing comes in. A lot of traditional meditation uses this. You lengthen your exhales, create this smooth rhythm between breaths. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest part.
Makes sense. Deep, rhythmic breaths for energy, slower, smoother breaths for chilling out. I'm feeling like a breathing pro already. But what about those times when my mind just won't shut up no matter how much I breathe? Are there certain types of meditation that are good for that?
Absolutely. You've got two really interesting techniques in your research that might be perfect. Yoga Nidra and NSDR, which stands for non-sleep deep rest.
Yoga Nidra. Yeah, I've heard of that. It's like yogic sleep, right? But NSDR is new to me. What are those all about?
You're on the right track with Yoga Nidra. It literally means yogic sleep. Both Yoga Nidra and NSDR are about guiding you into this deep relaxation, almost like sleep, but you don't actually fall asleep.
So like the ultimate chill out session for your mind.
Exactly. The goal is to quiet the mind and body, not necessarily make it super focused. They're really effective for stress, anxiety, even sleep.
I've tried Yoga Nidra a few times, and wow, it's amazing. Like hitting reset on my brain, I always wake up feeling incredible.
So glad to hear it. It's a great tool. And the cool thing about both Yoga Nidra and NSDR is you can do them lying down. Perfect for bedtime or even just the midday break.
Okay, adding those to my to-try list for sure. This is all so helpful. We've got a whole menu of meditation styles now. But is it a quick fix? Or is it more of a long game? Because honestly, I love a good shortcut.
That's important. Meditation, it's like anything else worth doing. It takes time. You're learning a skill, like playing an instrument or speaking a new language. It takes practice to get the full benefits.
So I can't just meditate once and become a Zen master. Darn.
Afraid not. But even a few minutes a day can make a difference. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to get into that calm, focused state, even when you're not meditating.
So it's like building a mental muscle. The more I use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly. And just like with exercise, you'll want to find a routine that you enjoy and can stick with. Play around with different techniques, try different ways of breathing, see what clicks for you.
It really is. I love how we've got all these options now, depending on what's going on that day.
And it's not about finding that one perfect technique either.
It's more like finding what works for you.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And that might change, day to day, even minute to minute.
Totally. Some days it's all about that Wim Hof breathing. Others it's like, get me to a Yoga Nidra class. Stat.
Right. You've got your own self-care toolkit now for your mind.
I know. I actually feel like really inspired to go try all this stuff out.
Me too. And hey, remember, it's a process, not a race, right?
Oh, for sure.
Be kind to yourself, Celebrate the small wins.
It's so easy to get caught up in trying to be perfect at it.
Exactly. And just enjoy getting to know your own mind better.
I love that. Well, listener, looks like we've reached the end of our meditation deep dive.
Time flies when you're exploring the brain.
Right. We've gone deep into the science behind calming the mind, the whole breath thing, even discovered some cool techniques like yoga nidra.
And NSDR, don't forget that one.
Oh, right. Which, I gotta say, sounds amazing.
It really is. We obviously just scratched the surface here. There's so much more to explore with meditation.
But hopefully you're feeling like ready to try some of this out yourself now.
Definitely.
And hey, if you find any cool tips or aha moments along the way,
Or even if you have other techniques you love.
totally, let us know. We're always down to hear about your own deep dive discoveries. Until next time, happy meditating.